little yarnivores and spiderettes. Fiber Spider back again with another tutorial just for you. And today I'm going to show you a really lovely, lacy, easy stitch called the mushroom stitch. And yes, they look like little mushrooms. Aren't they cute? And so for this piece I used Vanna's Choice in the colorway of linen. As always, not sponsored, but I always like to show you what it is that I use so that you can duplicate the results if you so choose. I made a funny. It's I think it's like a 4-row repeat. It's really, really, really simple, and I used a size I 5.5 millimeter hook with this yarn. It's a worsted weight yarn. And without further ado, let's get started. Alrighty, so I have my size I hook and my yarn right here, and we are of course going to start with a slip knot as per usual. And the multiple of chains, so you can make this as wide or as narrow as you want to, the multiple is a multiple of 8 plus an additional 3 chains. So let's start right in, shall we? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So I've got my 3 multiples of 8, and I'm going to add 3 more, 25, 26, 27. And that's just what I'm personally doing, but you can make this a blanket or a wrap or a scarf or really whatever it is that you would like to do. And so let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, and then my additional 3 for a total of 27. And so basically just a multiple of 8 plus 3. And, when you have your chain ready, meet back up with me and we'll start in with row 1. Alrighty. All right, so for row 1, by the way, I get a lot of questions where I got my my counter from. It is a Clover brand counter, and I picked it up at Michael's, and I found that it is rather advantageous, But you could always use a scrap of paper, and do little, tally marks, no problem there, So getting right in, we are going to do a double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook. Now you can go into this top loop, or you can turn it and you can go into that little back bump. I'm just going to go into the top loop. Either way is fine. So doing a double crochet, and this is going to count as 2 double crochets at the end right here, okay? Because that first chaining of 3 is a double crochet and then another double, okay? So chain 2 and skipping 2 chains, going to do a double crochet into the 3rd chain, like so, chain 2, skip 2 more chains, and then into the 3rd chain, double crochet, and then we need 2 more in the next 2 chains. We need a grouping of 3. It's going to be our mushroom stem. All right, chain 2, skip 2 more chains going into that 3rd with a double, chain 2, skip 2 more chains, going into that third and the next 2 with double crochets because we need another mushroom stem. There we go. And then 1 more. Also, you know what? I think this would look really, really nice with one of those yarns with a fleck in it. Not a variegated, a fleck, because mushrooms, they kind of have sort of a mottled look to them, right? So chain 2, and then skipping the next 2 chains going into the third with 1 double crochet, chain 2. All right, so now we've reached the last 4 chains. So again, we're going to skip 2 chains, and in the last 2 chains, double crochet into each. Because we started with our 2, if you remember, and we need to end with our 2. We need symmetry. Like so. And that is our foundation row. Alrighty. Onwards to row 2. Alright, row 2. So, by the way, rows 2 through 5 are the repeat for this pattern. So, for row 2, I'm going to start by chaining up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Turn the work. And it counts as a double crochet plus a chaining of 2. Okay, so now into this first chain 2 space, okay, we're going to do a single crochet. Like so, right into that first chain 2 space. Okay, then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're hopping over that double crochet and into the next chain 2 space, a single. A little single crochet right into there. Okay, then chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hopping over all 3 doubles, going to the next chain 2 space with a single. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, hop over the double, going to the next chain 2 space with a single. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hop over those 3 doubles, going to the next chain 2 space with a single. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, hop over that double, going to the next chain 2 space with a single. And at the very end, when you have your lonely little 2 double crochets at the end, okay, going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then a double crochet into the top of the last double crochet. So after chaining 2, it helps if you turn your work just a little bit, and then you can see, got to go into this stitch right here. Like so, right in there with a double. And basically, it's a chain 2 and a double crochet. The double crochet acts as 3 chains in height. So 2 plus 3 equals 5, and at the end we had our 5, right? So that's how it evens out. And I get a lot of questions about that sort of thing as far as the math goes. All right, so we have 5 chains, 3 chains, 5 chains, 3, 5, 3, and total of 5, technically speaking. And that is the end of row 2. Okay, row 3. So for row 3, I'm going to start by chaining up 3. 1, 2, and 3. Turn the work, and into this first space right here, we need 3 double crochets right into the space. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Then what we need to do is a single crochet into the chain 3 space. We're not doing any chaining in between. We're just going straight from these 3 double crochets, doing a single crochet into the chain 3 space. Okay. Then into the chain 5 space, 7 double crochets. So going right in, again, no chaining in between. So we have, just keep in mind where that single crochet is, because we're going to need to know where that is later. So keep in mind. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Single crochet into the next chain 3 space. 7 double crochets into the next chain 5 space. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Single crochet into the chain 3 space. Okay. Last but not least, we need 3 double crochets into the space. 1, 2, 3, and then last but not least, a double crochet into the 3rd chain from the bottom. Kind of locks it in place. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Technically, yes, you could do 4 double crochets in the space, but I think this looks a little bit nicer. That's me personally. Do whatever works for you, by all means. I am not running a dictatorship. Do what you like. You know, if it works better for you, and you're more comfortable with it, and you're happy with the way it looks, more power to you. That's what I say. All right, so technically, we've got our 4 double crochets at the end here, and we have on this side, technically speaking, our 4 double crochets, because that chaining up counts of, sorry, the chaining up of 3 counts as a double crochet. So we've got 4, and then we've got our 7s, and we have a little row of mushrooms. This would also make a really cute border as well, most definitely. All right, so that's the end of row 3. Okay, row 4. So for row 4, I'm going to start by chaining 1 and turn the work. Now into the first 2 stitches, we need single crochets. So we've got a little single crochet here, and into the next one with a single. Okay. Chain 2. Now, when I said we need to keep track of where a single crochet is, right in the center there, that's where we need to do a double, because we need to have another double following suit. Now, it can be a little bit tricky to see. However, if you look closely, so we had 1, 2, 3, and 4 double crochets, right? So it's right in the center there. That's where we need our double crochet into that single crochet stitch. Like so, right in the middle. Okay, okay. All right, so then going to chain 2. Now, again, it helps if you sort of separate your double crochets a little bit, because we have our 7, right? So we're skipping the first 2, and we're going to do 3 single crochets in the middle, because you got 2 on either side, 3 in the middle, total of 7, right? So skipping those first 2, going into the next, 3 stitches with single crochets. And it may seem a little weird at first, but once you've done a couple of repeats, you won't need to, sort of block out where your doubles are and figure it out. It'll come much more naturally. So I've got my 3 singles up top there, then chain 2, and do a double crochet into the single crochet right in the middle there. Chain 2, skipping 2 doubles and doing 3 single crochets in the middle. So that's 1 and 2 and 3, chain 2, double crochet into that single crochet, chain 2, and then last but not least, on the last 2 double crochets, we need single crochets. So I've got 1, and then that last one, it can be a little bit tricky. Just work with it, be a little patient. And also, I should have mentioned this before, I apologize. It helps if when you're chaining up that you're just a little bit loose, because I have a tendency of making my stitches rather tight. So single crochet into that last one. And that is the end of row 4. Alrighty. Okay, row 5. This is where the pattern sort of comes full circle, where we had our initial 2 doubles, 1 double, 3 doubles, etc. Alright, so for row 5, we're going to start by chaining up 3. 1, 2, 3, and turn the work. And a double crochet, not into that first single crochet, into that second one, right into here. So now technically we have 2 double crochets, just like we did at the very, very beginning. Okay, then chain 2, double crochet into the double crochet, chain 2, and double crochet into each of the single crochets that we did. So that's 1, 2, 3, chain 2, double crochet into the double, chain 2, double crochet into each of the 3 single crochets. Oops, I'm spazzing out. That's 1, 2, 3, and then we chain 2 again, double crochet into the double, chain 2, and then last but not least, double crochet into each of the 2 single crochets at the end. And that is the end of the full repeat. Alrighty. And then so you would continue on by doing rows 2 through 5 as many times as you want. And I'm going to do another repeat for you because I love you guys. You guys are my friends, and I do love your support, and I love to be there for you. So let's do another repeat, shall we? All right. All right, so row 2 for the repeat. Going to start with our chaining up of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Turn the work. And we need to make these loops again, remember? Right here and right here. So it's the 3s and the 5s, starting with our 5. Single crochet into the chain 2 space, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the next chain 2 space, chain 5 because we need to get across, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, single crochet into the next chain 1 space, chain 2 space, excusez-moi, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the next space, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, single crochet into the next space, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the next space. All right, so now we need a chain 5 space, but we need to end in this last stitch. So we're going to chain 2 and then double crochet into the top of this double crochet. So that's 1, 2, the third chain right here is where we're going to do our double crochet right there. And there you go. See, it's starting all over again. See, these loops that we created here are the loops that we have down here. They're sort of like little eyes. Looks like a little face, doesn't it? All right, so we're going to continue on to row 3. Okay, row 3. So row 3 for the repeat. I'm going to start by chaining up 3. 1, 2, and 3. Turn the work. And into this first space, we need 3 double crochets. 1, oops, 2, and 3. Into the chain 3 space, single crochet, into the next chain 5 space, 7 double crochets. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Single crochet into the next chain 3 space, and 7 double crochets into the next chain 5 space. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Single crochet into the next chain 3 space, and into the last space we need 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3, and then double crochet into the third chain from the bottom for our 4th double crochet right in there. Like so. And that is the end of row 3. Now, if you were doing this as, say, scarf, blanket, what have you, you could end on a row 3. It has this really nice sort of bumpy, wumpy edge and it's like a completed mushroom, facing outwards. If you end on row 5, well, then it's going to have a stem sticking up into nowhere. Might not make as much sense. So I would suggest end after a row 3, but rows 2 through 5 are the full repeat. Okay, so I'm just putting it out there because I do get a lot of questions as to what row do I end on. Well, there's your answer. I would end after finishing row 3. Okay, so we're going to continue on with row 4. Okay, row 4. So again, we're going to need our single crochet. So we need to chain up 1, turn the work, and in the first 2 stitches, we need single crochets. So we've got 1 and 2. Okay, chain 2, double crochet into the single crochet in the middle, sort of crevice down below. Chain 2, skipping the first 2 double crochets, going into the 3rd, 4th, and 5th with single crochets. Like so. Chain 2, double crochet into the single crochet from below. Chain 2, skip the first 2, going into the next 3 with single crochets. Chain 2, going into that single crochet with the double crochet. Chain 2, and going into the last 2 double crochets with single crochets. And I made this one a little bit looser, so it's a little bit easier to get into. Aha! Success. Like so. And that's the end of row 4. See, if you end on a 4, yeah, it has a flat edge, but it's sort of like, I think it's better to end after a row 3, quite frankly. All right, so onwards to row 5. Alrighty, row 5. The pièce de résistance. Starting with a chaining up of 3. 1 and 2 and 3. Turn your work. And double crochet, not into this first one, but into the next one with a double crochet. Okay. Chain 2, double crochet into the double crochet, chain 2, double crochet into each of the 3 singles. So that's 1 and 2 and 3. Chain 2, double crochet into the double. Yep, come on. Chain 2, double crochet into each of the singles that we did. Chain 2, double into the double. Chain 2, and double crochet into each of these singles at the end here. And there you go. That's the end of row 5. See, if you end on a row 5 after the full repeat, it's like, okay, we have stems sticking out into nowhere. So again, end after a row 3, and I think it would look lovely. I love this pattern. Absolutely. I think it's gorgeous. It's fun. And like I said, if you use maybe like a yarn that has a fleck in it, I think it would look really quite organic and neat looking. I love it. It's light, it's lacy, it's pretty simple. Hope you agree. And if so, please give me a little thumbs up button down below because, your support means the world to me and I really do appreciate your appreciation. And also, keep in mind that I do try to post as often as I can, so subscribe for more videos because I do crocheting, knitting, audiobook narration, and my other YouTube channel, Fiber Spider Games. I have such a blast on there. Check that out. Put a little link in the description box down below for that. Play video games, give commentary, loads of fun. So until next time, I want all of you, my little spiderettes, to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, and above all, stay stitching. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.